Yo guys, it's your boy Dylan alongside with my dad.
Yo!
And sorry if we haven't done, predictions for the last couple weeks, but we got a lot to talk about for this upcoming week.
It's going to be a great week of football. A great week before Thanksgiving. So let's go ahead and get right
So
into
we're going to start off with some Thursday night football with the Bengals and Ravens.
Both teams lost last week. Both.
And high scoring games too.
Yeah.
I feel like it could be the same thing with this game. But the Bengals are going to unfortunately lose to the Ravens.
Really? You say the Bengals are going to lose to the Ravens. Why do you think the Bengals are going to lose to the Ravens?
I don't know. They're looking a bit slumpy this year.
Yeah, there's been a lot of things here. Here they are playing. I'll say Lamar Jackson's been doing great this year, doing great things in the season. And being on home turf always is an advantage as well, too. I say the Ravens are going to win.
Moving on to the Steelers and Browns. So literally for the first two games is all AFC North teams. But Steelers and Browns. The Steelers, both teams are 6-3.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go with the Browns. Unfortunately, though, they're going to win without Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, he's done for the remainder of the year. So is this one of those things? I don't know. See, this is one that's still bothering me here. Are the Browns going to win? I'd really like to see the Browns win. But then you have the Steelers, Mike Tomlin. They have a great team. And they really haven't done it with an aggressive offense. They've had a great defense, but they really haven't done it with a explosive offense getting it done. Those are some concerns. However, I'm going with the Steelers, guys, this week.
There may be a few games that we're probably going to disagree on. I don't know. This might be one of them. But Raiders and Dolphins. Dolphins.
They lost to the Chiefs by 7.
Yeah, that was back in Germany.
Germany, guys.
Last week. Or not last week. 2 weeks
before.
prior.
Yeah.
But still, unfortunately, they lost coming off a bye week. I think they're going to get back on track with the win.
Statistics don't lie in how they play. And there's some things here. Them and the Cowboys have played identical against teams that have winning records. They both have 0 wins against teams with winning records. However, the Raiders do not have a winning record. I do like that Antonio Pierce is there. I think he might be this guy to step up and be the guy for the Raiders. However, I think being back, 2 weeks having time, again, good teams find their way to pick out what they lost on. And it wasn't bad that they lost the Dolphins. However, I think they're going to regroup. I think they're going to be able to take this one, and the Dolphins will win this week.
Bears and Lions.
Tigers and Bears. Oh my.
A lion is not a tiger.
Lions and Tigers and Bears. Oh my.
Technically, we have plenty of cat teams out here. But I'm going to say the Lions, after the Bears, after they came off of a close game to the Panthers, I'm going to say, unfortunately, they're going to lose to the Detroit Lions.
Oh, I thought you said, it almost sounded like you were going to say the Bears were going to, or the Lions.
The Bears are not going to win.
You don't ever know, okay? Listen, there was the 1 week that I picked the other team to win, and the Bears won. Remember that week? That was the 1 week against, who did they beat?
I don't know.
We were shocked. Now, they don't have Justin Fields playing this week. It's going to be Bagnett again. But Jared Goff is so explosive. I think the Lions win.
All right, next is the Tennessee Titans and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jaguars? What was that last week?
Last week they lost too.
What was that?
That was just...
They only scored 3 points.
And see, that's the thing about it. Football this year has been sporadic. There's some weeks you'll have a team that plays dynamite. Then the week after that, it's like, oh my gosh, what happened here?
And I'm picking the Jaguars to bounce back from that.
He's got total confidence in you. I have confidence in you too. I think the Jaguars should be able to beat the Titans. The Titans are having their struggles as well too.
moving on from one of the other teams from that Lions and Chargers. I mean, I kind of already said it right there. Chargers versus Packers. I think the Chargers are going to bounce back and go 5-5 or 5-5.
Wow, you think
6.
they're going to win?
Whatever record they are going to be, but whatever record they're going to be, they're going to bounce back.
You know, this is like the first time that I think he's ever picked the Chargers to win a game, even though he wants Staley fired. I don't know.
They play against a team that's...
But, you know, the Packers are having it rough. Jordan Love is having problems out there. Again, it's his first year transitioning in, so it's going to be really rough for the Packers. Hopefully the Chargers can have that intensity to come out and win, because I'm picking them to win this week.
Cardinals 2-8. Xbox Kyler Murray.
He's back.
Call of Duty versus the Texans, which I'm actually going to be talking about the Texans later on in this video, because the Texans, they've actually been doing pretty good this year.
See, I told you they were going to do better.
You know what?
You were the guy at the beginning of the year.
I'll give up, and they've passed their win totals from 2020 and 2021. Quit overtaking me, because I am going with the Houston Texans.
All before the season started, I said the Texans were going to surge. And by surge, it doesn't mean, they're going to be in the playoffs. That'd be cool if they are actually in a playoff hunt for the wild card.
If the season ended today, they would actually be in the playoffs.
They would be in the playoffs. So, yeah, they are in the hunt for playoffs. But, the big thing he said there, they suck. No, they don't suck. They're a better team this year. And I don't like the Cardinals, and I don't like Kyler Murray playing. And I just think that whole team is disastrous. So I'm going it to the Texans.
All right. So now where are we? Oh, Cowboys and Panthers. That might be another Cowboys blowout in the books.
Look, if the Cowboys continue to play teams like this, they're going to make it to the playoffs, guys. They'll be in the playoffs. Again, against winning teams, like good teams. Oh, they have not won any against teams with winning records this year. So that being said, the Panthers are atrocious, guys. They are, and I'll be talking about them later as well, too. But, I think the Cowboys are going to win. And all the Cowboys fans are going to be like, oh yeah, Dak Prescott, he's the man. Dak, you're going to win, buddy.
Giants and Commanders.
I haven't even picked that one yet.
The Giants, back-to-back Cowboys games that they played that they lost. As to the Commanders, yeah, they lost again. But I think they're going to bounce back. I think it's a bounce-back win for the Commanders.
Yeah, and that's been one of those rough things this year. Both teams, and especially the Giants, nothing looks good for them right now. Was last year kind of a fluke? What went on with everything last year? And now that Jones is injured, correct? That just makes it go down even worse. I think the Commanders can get the win out here this week.
All right, Buccaneers and 49ers. Now, a couple weeks, if I would have done the videos in the past, talk about maybe doing a little mini series, because originally the 49ers, they were like 5-3. 5-3. So I was getting a little bit concerned about the 49ers until they got that win over the Jacksonville Jaguars. But sometime, I mean, you really think they're gonna collapse like that? Nuh-uh. And their momentum will continue against the Buccaneers. So the 49ers will pick up a win here.
True story here, guys. He was pacing the floor for 48 hours, drinking coffee and Monster. Just pacing. Oh my gosh, is this the end? Is the 49ers doomed? No, I'm just joking.
That's how I'm like when the Blues win.
Anyway, the Buccaneers, they've kind of fallen back into that spot. Started out looking good. I just don't see anything positive out of this. I think Brock Purdy takes the lead, puts them in charge, and the 49ers win this game.
Going to the Jets and the Buffalo Bills. Unfortunately, the Buffalo Bills, though, they're 5-5. I mean, they're having a rough season.
They are.
And you know what? I'm thinking they're going to win, and if they lose, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to come back, but again, this is week 11. Anything can happen. They could always come back and go literally 12-5. But I mean, it's been a rough year so far in Buffalo. Not been the average. Go ahead.
I'm concerned really in Buffalo. And here's some things first and foremost. Leslie Frazier's no longer their defensive coordinator. That's a big blow to lose him. He was by all means, Leslie Frazier was a great defensive coordinator, no doubts about it. Now, you're putting blame on Ken Dorsey as the offensive coordinator. Yeah, the lackluster of Josh Allen. We've seen the regression. If you wanted to put regression in words, I can name 3 quarterbacks right now that have truly regressed so far this year. Number 1 would be on the Bengals, which would be
Joe Burrow.
Number 2 would be Josh Allen, clearly. And number 3, and as much as I'm a Chiefs fan, Patrick Mahomes. I mean, those are concerns there. So those would be the 3 that I would have regressed this year, and the numbers speak for them. However, there's something clearly not clicking, and it's a lot of it, I think, more or less on time management of the clock. Last week should have been able to be a win for Buffalo, and they weren't able to capitalize. They kept too much time on the clock, and this is what happened. Buffalo is not seeing that same grasp of things. Now the Jets are coming off of heartbreaking loss to the Broncos, correct?
Yeah.
And
the Jets?
The Jets, they lost to
They lost to the Raiders.
My fault.
It's the Bills that lost to the Broncos on a game-winning field goal.
Wait, right. So I mixed my story up there, but still. So the Jets came off of a heartbreaking loss to the Raiders. And, again, it's offensive production that is having the slump for the Jets as well, too. And Nathaniel Hackett is their offensive coordinator. There's got to be some sort of motivation between. Now, the Jets beat them the last time, right? And I
believe so, yeah.
It's hard for me to pick. However, just something about me says the defense is going to prevail in this one. And I just think on paper, the Jets' defense is stronger than the Bills. So I think the Jets will squeak by with a win on this.
The Seahawks and Rams. I mean, I'm sorry, Rams, but I'm going to have to go with the Seahawks.
Yeah, the Rams are kind of in that scenario. I'm cheering for the Seahawks as well, too. Pete Carroll is, honestly, out there, guys, he's one of the best. He great coach. I like the enthusiasm out of him. I like the motivation out of his players. He's a great guy. All the way around, Seahawks get that win.
All right. Sunday night football, Vikings and Broncos. Broncos pulling off that upset. But a few weeks ago, I was doubting the Vikings. But they have won 5 in a row. They literally went from 1-4, looking like, they're toast, to 6-4. And with this week coming up, I have a little bit of confidence in them. I have some confidence to the point I am saying that they're going to go 6 in a row, and they're going to have a 7-4 record.
Streaks come to an end at some point in time, and usually I don't pick for. Again, I like what they're doing out there. I like what they've been able to do. It's hard. Both teams. It's really hard on this. And let's be clear here: the Broncos have been able to put up points this year. That was one of their problems last year. The Broncos couldn't put up points. The Vikings, they started off turmoil, and then now Kirk Cousins is injured. So, yes, there's a lot. Ugh. If I had to pick with my gut instinct on both of these teams, I would probably pick the Broncos to win.
Okay. Now, for our last game to predict, Monday Night Football, Super Bowl 57 rematch.
Yeah.
Eagles and Chiefs. And you know what? Just for all the sakes and for all the memes, I'm going to go against my dad because I know what he's going to pick. I'm going to say the Eagles are going to win.
I haven't picked. I have not picked my team yet, so you guys are going to get to hear from me right now. So, both teams have great defenses. Offense, I can't say that offense has been solid for both teams. If you look at a lot of the wins outside of things, Jalen Hurts has not won explosively large numbers. Their defense, both teams have great defenses. Chiefs, no doubt, have a top 10 defense in the AFC, if not the best. Mm-hmm. Same thing going in the NFC. The Eagles have a top 10, if not the best, in the NFC. Offense is going to be crucial to providing those points. And, the Eagles have everything in place there. They do. They have that wide receiver core. The Chiefs, they don't have big name players as their wide receivers. And I think it's going to be a great game. I think it's going to come down to field goal kickers, though. I think as time's expiring, Harrison Butker is going to be the champion to hoist them by 3 points to win that game. Chiefs win. It's going to be a great game. I think and here's the thing. I think the Eagles need to take another loss to see where that flaw is developed, the development of that, and kind of go from there. I think that is. And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to be upset if the Eagles win, because they they are probably favored to win. But it's one of those things. I got to go with my gut, and the Chiefs hopefully can solidify that. So,
all right. So we still have some things to talk about. Now we're gonna move on to forward and progression. Now I'm gonna start with regression, and that is the Panthers. I mean, this is just not been their year. No, I mean they are already 2 losses away from matching their loss total from last year, if I'm right. Like a 1-8 season? Yeah, 1-8. They're already. I mean, what can go wrong with them too?
I'm going to go in with, I'm going to go with the Patriots. Bill Belichick, he looks exhausted out there. And I give the man credit. Mm-hmm. He has the Super Bowl rings under him and everything. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of talk after Tom Brady left that we would finally see who was right on this. Was it either Brady? Who was the mastermind behind that? I think we're seeing that Brady was kind of the guy that put everything together there. And don't get me wrong, Belichick, great time there. Unfortunately, it's a different era. It's without Brady. Mac Jones is struggling. You see the frustration out of these teams. You see him at the end of the game. You see Mac Jones. Is it time to wait? You hear all the rumors now about, is it time to part ways? I think this is the Belichick's last year. I would be surprised if he's back next year. Simply because the Crafts, want to instill that winning culture. Does Belichick still have it? There's rumors that Belichick could be onto a new team. He could. He might be done. He might be. I would probably retire just because you have everything that you want under your belt. Kind of go from there. But it will be interesting to see. I think the Patriots, I expected them to do a little bit better this year, and I just haven't seen that improvement.
All right, so for progression, like I said earlier about this team with the Texans, which is my progression team, they have already passed their number one. They passed their win total from last year, but they've also passed it from the other 2 years of 2021 and 2022. And the last time that they had a 5-win season, they actually had 10 wins, and they actually went to the playoffs. I mean, I think with the Texans, I wouldn't be surprised if they in my win range, I wouldn't be surprised if they had anywhere between, call me biased here, 7 wins and maybe 9 wins. I don't want to go too high on their win numbers because they can always go on a losing streak, but I think in my win range, I'm thinking they're going to go anywhere between 7 and 10 to maybe even at the highest, maybe even a winning season.
It would be nice to see the Texans. You got to give them credit where it is. I think they picked a winner in their quarterback. C.J. Stroud is showing them out there. Fundamentally, he is doing great. He is showing himself out there on the field, and that's what I like about him. Their defense, their offense. This is a team that's going to, hopefully building up the expectation to be a playoff contender, win a Super Bowl in the coming years, and it's great to see them finally getting over the negativity and putting some positive into it. The season's still, even though we're at week 11 now.
We're right now starting week 11.
Week 11, there's still a lot of football. So if they keep on playing the way they are, they have a good chance at making the playoffs. So, yeah.
I hope they do reach the playoffs. If not this year, then in the next year, 2 years, because I want to see improvement out of the Texans. For my regression, I think my dad knows this one's coming. It's the 49ers.
Really?
Not the
What?
49ers. What am I thinking right now? It's the Patriots. Okay, sorry if I made you guys laugh. Or,
Wow.
being like, boo! But, okay, let's be real here. The 49ers, what am I thinking? The Patriots! Okay, let's be serious here. The Patriots, this is probably their worst. This is probably Bill Belichick's worst year ever in his career. I wouldn't be surprised if he retires.
I think.
After this season, I'd be shocked if he comes back onto the Patriots next year. But I don't know what to say.
He's scared.
The Patriots almost have 10
There's
losses.
no confidence.
That's my story right there.
The last 2 weeks in a progression, and even though I have them losing to the Broncos this week, Joshua Dobbs has stepped up and he's been a leader for the Vikings. So kudos to that. That would be a progression. He was in Arizona prior, and now he's here in Minnesota, and I think you're seeing a better capability of what he's able to do. I think it's great. I think it's great anytime a quarterback can go to another team. They get to show off their level of skill and be able to utilize it a little better. So if he can keep up doing what he's doing, he's your quarterback. Now you got to work. What goes on next season? What goes on? Kirk Cousins kind of going from there.
All right, and for progression, I have the Raiders. And the reason why I do have the Raiders on here is the new coach that they got
Antonio Pierce
is 2-0
Yeah,
so far.
so far.
Yeah.
It'd be funny if he beats the Dolphins.
Then that means 6-5 for the Raiders.
Right.
Maybe the Raiders will start improving and maybe they'll go to the playoffs. Okay, maybe I wouldn't really say playoffs though.
Right now it's everybody's game.
It's a tight race right now.
It really is, and that's what's nice about it. I think this year it's going to come down to like the last couple of weeks on a lot of teams. It's showing right now that anybody's open. Who would have ever thought Cincinnati would have had so many losses? The Vikings, where they're at. The Steelers, they're doing. The Browns are in it. The Texans are in it. The 49ers. Heck, even the Jets, they're still part. So it's kind of one of those things. Now, let me go ahead and talk about this. The regression. Bills, they look disorganized out there, guys, as a team. I don't know. And I said it earlier. They lost Leslie Frazier. That's a huge blow defensively. Is Ken Dorsey the problem? Well, that's usually who you utilize because Josh Allen is not getting as much statistically as what he usually does in a season. And again, the interceptions, the fumbles, somebody's got to go out there, and unfortunately your offensive coordinator takes the fall for that. I think it's also down to clock management, being able to utilize that clock to give them that advantage to win the game. You know, when you're giving that ball back and give the other team an opportunity, you want to reduce that. And that was kind of a bad thing for them to be able to have, to lose. There's something going on in that locker room. And, you know, 5 losses is not bad. It's not bad, but it's not great. You know, it's something they need to try to work their kink out and get themselves to where if they are going to go to the playoffs, they're prepared for it. So they have regressed.
And I think you do have some words about coaches or whatever.
Oh, no, I don't.
But I know we got the playoff thing too.
You know, yeah, I do have a couple things. I think we could see some big openings this year come end. I think that the Chargers, they'll make a change. The Rams, it's kind of weird. Sean McVay says he's here for the Rams, but you know he also wants to retire from it already. The Rams could be one of those teams. The Jets, it's hard to say. I don't think the Bills. The Titans, it might be time. They're having some problems there. As much as Frank Wright is in there, I don't think his job is safe. And the Cardinals, I say his job would be safe. Just because, you know, it's his first year. Gannon's first year as a head coach. For the Buccaneers, I don't think... I think in order for them to keep Ted Bowles, he's going to have to prove a lot. So there could be a lot of openings, even with the Patriots. I think there could be a lot of coaching, even in the Bears. There's going to probably be a lot of coaching changes at the end of the year, so don't be surprised about that. It's sad, but it has to be done.
All right, and I believe we do have one more thing, and that is the first team. What we have this week is first team that we think that will advance to the playoffs, but we also have the first team that we think is going to be eliminated from the playoffs.
So we're going to do one from the NFC side, one from the AFC side. Same goes for losing NFC, AFC.
All right, so basically the first for each side. All right.
Go ahead.
Although I only have this, but I can always say who's going to be the first. All right, so I'll just start with the NFC side. On the NFC side, the first team I think that are most likely going to go to the playoffs first is going to be the Eagles, obviously. But my first team that's going to be eliminated from playoff contention, unfortunately, it's going to be the Panthers. I mean, it could be close between the Cardinals and the Panthers, but I feel like the Panthers are going to be out first. Go ahead.
You know, I kind of have the same thing. It's almost like we had the mind looking at each other. They're sending 5G signals to one another. Yes, I think the Eagles are going to be the first team in the playoffs, guys. They're scary. They really are. The first team out that doesn't look scary is going to be the Panthers. So that will be
the NFC side.
NFC side.
Now it's time to go to the AFC side. I think the first team to advance to the playoffs on the AFC, I think it is going to be the Chiefs. I mean, obviously. I mean, why not? What else would it be? I mean, you do have a 4-5 Broncos team, last place.
They're still in it, though.
It's kind of tough to say who's going to be first to be out of the playoffs. I'm going to go spoiler alert. I'm going to be way wrong on this. I'm going to say the Titans. I believe they're last place. I can always check. But what I will say, this. I think they'll most likely be the first team out of the playoffs. I mean, hold on. We'll see who's last place. We'll see who's last. We'll see who's last. Okay. Actually, not Patriots, because I don't know why. If I'm cheating, I am sorry. But the Patriots, I mean, I kind of am cheating. I am cheating because I just looked. But and sorry if I will admit that I did cheat right there. But I feel like, and realistically, I think the Patriots are going to be the first that are going to be out with their record. I actually completely forgot that they were 2-8 in their last place. So I should have known that from the beginning. So I do apologize for that. But I think the Patriots are going to be the first out.
First team in, I think the Chiefs are going to be in. It could be a rematch of the Super Bowl, even though I think, I'm going to think about this. It's going to be a love song like Taylor Swift. No, I'm not getting paid any money for saying this. I think it's going to be between the Chiefs and the Lions in the Super Bowl. But that being said, I think the Chiefs are the first team on the AFC side in the playoffs. Unfortunately, I also have the Patriots out as the first team. I don't foresee their season getting any better, guys. I think it's going to be a lot of doom and gloom right now.
I think it's only going to get worse before it gets better.
At times of suffering.
With the Patriots.
And you know what is sad? Because I'm not going to say Bill Belichick's a bad coach. He is a good coach. I respect him 100%. And it's his time, guys. Unfortunately, it happens. It happens. Look, I'm always a firm believer you go out with your best foot forward instead of backward, and this would be his best time to do it. So.
Yeah. All right, so with that will do it for our Week 11 predictions. Like I said, I am sorry that I looked at my phone. I forgot that the Patriots existed, and they're 2-8. They're last place. They're not doing good this year. They have the same record as Kyler Murray Cardinals.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, if all teams, Cardinals, Panthers, and Patriots, they go at 9, they go literally at like 9 losses. Oh, well, I don't think the Patriots are actually, kind of. But anyways, we could see a race to see who's going to be the first team to 10 losses.
You know what they should do instead of having the Pro Bowl?
They should just go straight to Super Bowl?
No. So hear me out. They should have, so that way they can see, so they have they have the Super Bowl for the winners bracket. But like an NIT, like how college basketball is at NIT, they should have a losers bracket with the teams that have kind of went downhill and see which one is better out of all those teams.
Each sport needs that. Each sport needs like a losers bracket.
And it's not to say that they're losers. It's to see, just to have a little bit of fun out there and see who is the better of the losing teams. I think it would be kind of unique, actually. So
just to see which losing team is actually kind of
because they've kind of made the Pro Bowl. They made the Pro Bowl into nothing. So yeah,
that would be my alternative. But anyways, if you guys like this video, please smash the subscribe button and smash the like button. Until then, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.